So, before we continue on with this family saga of betrayal and affairs and love and conquest and pain and joy and risk and loss and suffering and all the rest. A story there is, me tell, want, you, hear. I have a story, let me tell you a little story about the beach. I was on the far end of Long Island and I woke up in my comfortable, humid bed and I had this vision, this dream. I wanted to build a ramp of sand that would go out at the edge of the sea where the waves were breaking in the Atlantic there, the big waves that were coming into the steep beach of the Hamptons. And I wanted to be able to run up a sand ramp and fly off like an eagle with his arms spread. I wanted to soar out perfectly timed and come down into one of these big breaking waves onto the steep beach. And I wanted to dive into it. And so I took my shovel and I called my friend John and I said, grab your shovel and meet me at the beach. I have a vision. So we went down to the beach and we started digging. I told him what I had in mind and he said, great, yes, let's do it. I also want to fly in the air like an eagle and pierce a breaking wave with my pointed fingers. Okay, so we dig and dig and dig and dig and we're digging along. And it's not working so well. I mean, we get this beautiful looking ramp and we've got this pile, we've cut the edges, so it just looks like, it's not just a big pile of sand we're trying to jump off of. It's this work of art, it's beautiful, it has a wicked arc to it. But when I run down the beach and start to climb up, everything goes fine until the end, when I get to the pinnacle, the precipice, and I thrust my feet down to make the launch, my feet just sink into the sand, it sloughs off, and I go to the knees and then fall face forward 8 feet onto my face on the sand in an inch of water, humiliated. So I kept trying, shoveling, rebuilding it, running, jumping, and I'm getting frustrated. A man walks up, sort of in my periphery, thin, gray-haired, little like hair's doing this, and he's got the thing, and he comes up, and he's in his Bermuda shorts, and I'm in my Bermuda shorts, and I'm busy, and he wants to help, and he believes he has some insight. He's been watching, he says, and he may be able to help me. And I'm not in the mood for any unsolicited advice from passerbys, and so I brush him off, but he doesn't go away. He's persistent. And there's a particular curiosity in his line of questioning and something about his voice, lilting. It's confident yet nurturing, Germanic, sort of flowing tone. And so I stop and I turn and I look to him and I'm listening to him. Tell me what this may, I have idea on all the sloping and he's got some concepts for my footwork when I get to the top before I launch off, and I'm sort of squinting at him like, say that again, one more time, just one more time. And I realize all of a sudden it's Werner fucking Herzog standing there in the flesh. Werner of the Herzogs, the filmmaker, the famed, pontificating about my little project on the beach. So I say, yes, you were saying? Tell me more, fine sir. And we set about building the proper ramp by layering towels. Towel, layer of 10 inches of sand, another towel, 6 inches of sand, another towel, 4 inches of sand, whatever, like this. So there's tensile strength in the peak of this. Eventually, we realize I'm never going to, no matter how many towels and new ideas we have about my twists of ankle, am I ever going to fly in the air properly enough to land like I would like to in the middle of an oncoming wave. So we abandon the project and we go to lunch, and at lunch, Werner turns to me and he says, I would like to tell you a story, if you don't mind. And I'm like, this is the greatest teller of all tales, the most interesting and accomplished storyteller of all time, as far as I'm concerned, is leaning towards me with bits of lobster on my chin, asking if it's okay if he tells me a story. And I say, yeah, that'd be fine. You know, try me. We'll see. Why don't you just start? You know, we'll just see how it goes. It was this oldest time of winter. I went to my friend, who was just a young man like myself. There was a ski jump in the woods near his village in the Bavarian Alps, and he went to his friend. They were both 10 years old, and they put themselves in their best wool, and they took their wooden skis, and they went out through the forest to find this ski ramp, the kind that they have for the long jump, where the skier goes off and the skis are touching his chin, and you know, you're flying. And they wanted to try this for themselves, and they found the place, and it was empty of people. Werner takes his turn, and he flies in the air a little and lands on the hard downslope ice pack of this jump, and he skids to a stop, and he awaits, and his friend leaves the top in a tuck and begins to go so very fast, and when he leaves the lip of the ramp, he's at terminal velocity and begins to break apart, skis and arms twisting and different, and he loses control and begins to spin, and he comes down hard and shatters himself. Skidding to a stop, Werner is running to him and finds him conscious, the bones in his body shattered. And Werner runs down the hill to the lane, the snow-covered lane that passes by, flags down a horse and carriage that are coming by, because evidently this is in 1724. And Werner and the man who was driving the horse pick up the boy and take him to the carriage and put him in the back. And Werner holds his friend in his arms and speaks to him and keeps him in motion and alive. And as they make their way through the leafless forest, between the shadow and light passing through the branches onto them, and the boy dies in Werner's arms. His spirit passes away before they reach the village, and Werner continues to hold him until some people at the town square separate them. And the story is stuck in my mind. And it might just be Werner's way of, irrefutable way of telling a story, or his voice, or the message of the story sat inside of me, the adventure, the risk, the loss, the horrifying terror and death, and then the moving on, the acceptance and continuation of your own living. It seems in some way attached. Okay, a quick addendum. It turns out my memory is, of course, quite accurate, except for one point in this story. Werner would like to insist that his friend did not die that day and was saved by Werner and the horsemen, which doesn't seem very likely to me. Werner's certainly entitled to his opinion, but I think on this point we're going to have to agree to disagree. Okay. Okay, connect, Mom. Everything's gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay, Mom. Just connect. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna work out. Don't you worry.